Hello everyone, welcome to day 19th of June Lead Code Challenge, and today's question is K inverse pair. Without much ado, let's look at the presentation that I have created for this, and I'll explain the question and the solution there and then itself. So moving on to the presentation. K inverse pairs array, lead code 629. Let's try and understand the definition of an inverse pair. An inverse pair is a pair of integers at index I, j in an array such that I index is lower than that of j and nums of I is greater than that of nums of j. Let's try and understand it by a few examples. So this index is 0, this index is 1, this index is 2, and how many inverse pair that we have in this? 0, because there is no element that is of lower index that has higher value. So lower index, higher value out of any two combinations, any two integers. So let's count here. So this is higher than this, and this index is lower than this index. So 1, other one being this 3, 1, the third one being 2, 1. So the answer here is 3. We have 3 inverted pairs. Let's talk about this example. We have 2 is greater than 1, so a lower index, higher value, count becomes 1. This doesn't qualify for it, and this also doesn't qualify for it. So the answer in this case is 1. We have 1 inverted pair. Let's try and understand the question. Given two integers n and k, return the number of different arrays that consist of numbers from 1 to n. So this is a very important point, that we need to return the count of such permutations where there are exactly k inverse pairs, and in each permutation all the numbers must exist starting from 1, 2, 3 up till n. And since this answer can be huge, we have to return modulus of 10 raised to the power 9 plus 7. So let's try and understand the algorithm here. We are trying to build a mathematical equation that will help us arrive at the solution. So what does this statement means? We have n plus 1 elements, and we are interested in finding out the count of those arrays where the inverted pair is equal to k. So we have to count the permutation of arrays where we have k inverted pairs. I have represented it in a mathematical format. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up till n plus 1 elements are there, and this contains k inverted pair. Let's try and write the others as well. So T of n comma k consists of 1 up till n elements and has k inverted pairs. T of n comma k minus 1 consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 n elements again and has k minus 1 inverted pairs. T of n comma k minus 2 has k minus 2 inverted pairs. Similarly, T of n comma k minus n has k minus n inverted pairs. So now let's extrapolate them to form an equation for this condition where we have n plus 1 elements and we want to identify the count where there are k inversions. Let's try and add a new element to this combination. So the new element that will come into this array is n plus 1, and if you add n plus 1 to the end of all the cases where there were k inversions, the number of inversions will still remain k, although the size of the array increases by 1. So let's hypothetically assume that there was some particular kind of an array that had 1 to n elements, and you added n plus 1 element to the end of it. It being the largest element will not result in any increase in inversions, and this count had k inversions in it, so it's safe to add n plus 1 element at the end of it by virtue it being the largest one. So if you add n plus 1 element to the end of it, it won't have any impact on the value of inversion count. Pretty straightforward. Now comes the question, where can we add n plus 1 element into the combinations of n comma k minus 1 such that the number of inversions increases from k minus 1 to k. So let's try and extrapolate it. 1, 2, 3 followed by n minus 1 comma n, and these can be any two numbers in the combination, and where can we add k plus 1 element so that the number of inversions increases from k minus 1 to k. So we are interested in adding one more inversion to it. So which place are we gonna add k plus 1? We'll add k plus 1 at this position, somewhere in between n minus 1 comma n. So these two can be any elements in that combination. I'm just writing it for the sake of clarity. So if you add this new element just before the last element, it would lead to one more inversion by virtue of this combination, n plus 1 comma any element lower than n plus 1, starting from 1 up till n. It can be any such element of the combination. So this value is lower than 1 till n, which can come at the last index, so it will lead to increase in one inversion. So the previous state had k minus 1 inversions. We added a new element k plus 1 at the index just before the last index, and it led to one more increase in the inversion, so that the inversion total count becomes k. About the third case, we have elements starting from 1 till n, and these states have k minus 2 inversions. We want to add n plus 1 element such that the number of inversion count increases by 2. So where are you gonna add n plus 1 into this? So you'll add it somewhere in between the third last element and second last element here. So in that combination, these two can be any elements, and if you add n plus 1 here, then it will lead to an increase in the number of inversions by 2, because these two elements will always be lower than n plus 1, and hence one increases by virtue of this element and other one by virtue of this element. N plus 1 is greater than x and n plus 1 is greater than y, and x and y can be any element starting from 1 up till n. So the increase in number of inversions is 2 if we add n plus 1 element at the third last index, and the total number of inversions in the resultant array would increase to k. So now comes the question, where will you put n plus 1 element into the combinations that are given by the equation t of n comma k minus 1. It has one combinations of 1 till n elements, and it has k minus 1 inversions. So you will put this new element at the starting index of the array somewhere here. N plus 1 comes here, and if that is the case, then what is an increase in the number of inversions? So this is the first increase, this is the second increase, this is the nth increase. So the total number of increase that we observed is of n, and the total number of inversions that becomes is this had k minus 1 inversions, and you increased it to n. The total inversion count becomes k. So what is the equation for this t of n plus 1 comma k? It is nothing but summation of all such cases. T of n comma k, t of n comma k minus 1, t of n comma k minus 2 up till t of n comma k minus n. If you understood this much logic, you understood the complete algorithm. There are few corner cases that I want to talk about. If the count of n that is given to us is 0, so the answer in that case is 0, first corner case. The second corner case that we have is, if in case k is given to us as 0, that means how many such combinations are possible of any n value. There is only one combination that is possible if the elements are in sorted order. So for k equals to 1, there is only one combination possible where all the elements are in sorted order, and that will lead to only one inversion, the single inversion. Just remember these points, and now let's move on to the coding part where I'll explain the rest of the procedure. Going by the motive, talk less, code more, let's move on to the coding section. Let's try and solve it by the memoization technique first. I have created an integer array of size 1001 up till 1001 because the questions said so. There were a maximum value of 1000 for n and similarly for k. And I am using the recursion technique. If n equals to 0, I simply return 0 because there are no elements to be considered. If k equals to 1, I simply return 1 as my answer because there is one possible way, which is a sorted way, to sort all the elements starting from 1 up till n, and that makes up till 0 inversions. So the answer in that case would be 1. And the third case is the memoization technique. If I have already calculated the answer for this kind of a DP state, I return it from that. Otherwise, I start filling or building the array. I start from the 0th index, go up till whatever the minimum value of k comma n minus 1 is, and I count the inversions using the formula inversion equals to inversion plus k, the recursive operation for n minus 1 comma k minus I. So if you will see, this is nothing but what we did in the presentation part, where I explained you need to add all the inversion count starting from k minus n up till k. So this is the same formula, and I have once we have this value iterated over all the possible values of I, we update it in the answer and return it. So this approach, however, will lead to all the test case getting passed, but you will get a TLE. So instead of the top-down approach, we'll use a bottom-up approach to solve the question. And I am just uncommenting the code that I have written, and instead of the top-down approach, let's go for the bottom-up approach. Again, define a DP array of size n plus 1 comma k plus 1, and starting building all answer for all the values of n starting from 1 up till n, and I iterator is doing that from integer I equals to 1 goes up till n. I build in this logic. It's a similar kind of a logic that we talked over here. If my j equals to 0, I assign the value of dp of I comma j to 1. Otherwise, I build the logic using exactly the same formula that I have written here. dp of ij equals to dp of ij plus dp of I minus 1 j minus p, where p stands for all the possibilities starting from the 0th index goes up till the minimum of j comma I minus 1. So let's try this up. Accepted. Although the time complexity of this approach is not very great, it's very high. There can be few optimization that can be done in order to reduce the time complexity further, but that will overcomplicate the logic, so I kept it short and simple.
I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching it and have a great day ahead.